At this stage I have now placed my patterns. So it's the sister dresses right here. This is the smaller one, this is the bigger one. Right here I'm going to be extending it longer because I'm going to have some frills. So it's the bottom part of that skirt dress, and this one has just one skirt part. It's more simple. This is our cotton fabric, our African print fabric. It's really lovely to work with. And so now I'm going to cut out the patterns and then start ensembling them together. Right now I have both stacks for both dresses. This one is going to be the bigger one, and this is the smaller one for the two sisters. And I will start ensembling the smaller one, and then I will do the bigger one. So let's get started with this one. So the next stage is basically working on the bodice part. That is basically doing the lining, which for me is the same fabric here, and the top fabric with these straps on the inside. So I cut the straps out, and this is what they look like before. So I cut them out, I sewed along the edge, then pulled it inside out so it's nice and clean. These are the straps. And so now, as you can see, I've sewn here all the way around. At this stage right now, I'm going to be cutting the corners here so that it doesn't bulk up too much. Now I'm pulling it all inside out. To avoid any of this kind of like puckering, you can see it's like really hard when you pull it. It's because of the curve. Whenever you have curves, you're gonna have your inside seam allowance that kind of pulls, as you can see here. To avoid that, or to get rid of it, what you should do is you roll it back inside out. And here, where you have the curves, what you're going to do is you're going to snip it. So you're not going to snip all the way, you're just going to snip into a part of it here, into the seam allowance. So not all the way, but just a bit. Like that, you're going to easen it up a bit, so that it has place to move a bit more. Let's see if we see a difference now. I did it just on one side. As you can see here, it completely lays flat. And here it's still bulky. Do you see the difference? Here it's bulky, and here it's flat. So that's why you have to snip it. You can see it lays down nice and flat, like that. And this one still has some bulk here. So now we're gonna snip it, and then we'll do the same in the other one, and then we're gonna sew the sides up together. So now we've got the skirt part. I've just added in this big stitch here and pulled it so I get like my little frills here. So I pulled it, so this is the skirt part of the dress. And now for the top two parts, I have put them together. I've just by a big seam here, put them together. And I'm super loving this. I think this is super, super cute. So now my last step is just to attach it together, and I'm done. I've got some new flowers in today. Hi. So here we go. Okay, so this is the little dress for the 2-year-old, 1 to 2-year-old, and actually she's a 1-year-old, but this is a dress for a 2-year-old size. Here's gonna be the edge and the bottom, the borders. I'm just gonna add it on the bottom here, so it'll be a bit longer and it'll be super cute. Then I might also add in some baby like cotton undies, basically to put on top of the Pampers, on top of the nappies, because it's meant to be like a short dress. But we also don't want to see the Pampers underneath, so I'm gonna make one in the same fabric. So it'll be super cute. But this is the stage right now. The inside looks like this. So So I basically have to still, I usually use this as lining here, this one, and I'm also gonna fold it in here and clean it up. And then we're done with this one, and then we're gonna be making the other dress for the bigger sister, which will be a bit longer. So here I'm flattening out the armholes. It's really important to make sure it's all nice and flat and make sure that there's no bumps or waves. Then I will be basically folding in the lining here and preparing it to sew. This is the very, very last final detail that I'm doing on this dress. Sorry if you hear all of the raining outside. The door is open for some fresh air. So in the baby dress, I'm going to be making a little adaptation, and that is in the back. I'm going to be creating an opening here. It will look exactly like this. And then also with some snaps inside. So yeah, so she can open the dress and close it comfortably. Because the dress was since it's just pure cotton, it's got no elasticity, it was very hard for the baby to get in. So therefore I'm going to be creating an opening here in the back. So this is the bigger dress now for the big sister. It's going to have the top part, which is identical. Then it's going to have like a top skirt part, and then more ruffles on the bottom, with the bottom skirt part. So it's for size 5 to 6 years old. Of course, I'm going to add one of these in here on the back of the dress, and I'm going to continue. So right now I've just ruffled this up here, as you can see. I'm gonna add this onto here, and then I'm gonna add this onto here. All right, now I will be working on waistcoats. So kids waistcoats, a single-breasted waistcoat with no pockets and with straps in the back with adjusters. So this is the start, and I'll be showing you my process now. I have now cut out all my pieces for the waistcoat. This is for a 10-year-old boy. Right here I have all of the fronts and back and facings. This is a tape that I will be adding onto the seams so that they don't pull or stretch. So one side is sticky, so it's basically just gives strength. And this is my interfacing right here that I'll be adding like on the bottoms, also down by the lapel edge and all around. So these are also like sticky on one side, and I'll be heat pressing them on. At this stage I have already cut out my front, my back, and my adjusters for the waistcoats. This is size 10, kid size. And so basically these are the adjusters. I'm gonna be making 3 waistcoats, so there's 3 pairs. They're 2 centimeters wide, and on the inside they are fused with the fusing to make sure that they're nice and firm. I also have these for the adjusters in the back, so we'll be able to close the waistcoat in the back, make it tighter. Here I've already added some fusing, the tape on the armholes and on the front by the lapel. Super important. I will also add it here by the by the neck line, right up here. So next stage now is I've already marked in my darts on both sides on the front and on the back. And now I'm going to iron them. I'm going to sew them up, and as I sew in the back ones, I'm also going to add in the adjusters at the same time on both sides here, and then I will get on to the next stage. Perfect. So at the moment, both backs have been sewn up with the darts, and we also have the adjuster straps inside. This is what it looks like when I pin the facing and the lining together. Normally the lining would be a completely different fabric, but the facing is the same fabric as the top fabric. But this client wanted to have everything made in the same fabric, so this is what it looks like with the curve. So on both sides now, on the left and the right side, I will be sewing this up and pressing it out. So now I have stitched up the back with the back seam. I've added in the fusing there. And now what we're gonna do is right sides together. We are going to add, now we're gonna fix up the shoulders here. So right sides together, front and back. And then we're gonna sew up the shoulders, and we're almost done. So these are all my linings here. I have the two fronts and the back here of the lining. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the front here, everything on the outside. I will lay it on top, and then we're going to sew all the way along the front seam and connect everything together here. We have the linings and the main fabrics sewn up together. They're also sewn up here. They're sewn up here all along. Now I'm going to try fiddle everything all the way through. What I mean by that is I am going to pull everything through the armhole here inside out, which is in the correct way, and then I'm going to finish up the last sewing here. Alright, so I have just finished all 4 outfits for all of the children. This is one of the waistcoats right here, and I am super happy with them. Super, super, super cute. And we're gonna do a fitting tomorrow with all of the children. The 2 girls' dresses and the 2 waistcoats with the boys. It was a really fun process. I really enjoyed working with this type of fabric. It's an African fabric, like a really nice cotton, obviously with a super fun floral print on it. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to the fitting to see how it fits the kids, and we'll see from there. This is the dress for one of the girls. It was super cute when we did the fitting. The top part was super, super cute on her. It fit her just around her chest really nicely. It fit her super nicely on the top. It was super, super cute on her. The only thing is that the length, it was a bit too short. So I knew I didn't want to make it too long, but then we saw that it was a bit too short because it went above the knees. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to add one of those panels that we have here. I'm going to add another one on the bottom so it's long enough. And I'm thinking about also adding like a zip on the side for her to enter properly, because since this fabric is stiff, there's no elastine in it at all, it's a cotton. It was quite hard for her to get into it because it wasn't able to be stretchy to go over the shoulders. But I'm gonna add in a zip so it's easy for her to get in, because otherwise the fit is really, really nice. So those are the few changes I'm gonna do on the little dress. And yeah. This is one of the 2 waistcoats that I made. They turned out super, super good on the boys. The boys looked great. It has like the adjuster in the back. Fit-wise, it was really, really nice. I'm really happy with the waistcoats, so I'm not making any big major changes on these.